We are focused on the glutes, legs, and thighs to build a strong lower body in this no repeat leg day. You're only gonna need your dumbbells, so grab those and let's get strong. Starting strong with our warm-up. We're gonna do just a few warm-up exercises. I'll explain the structure. I'll explain this optional equipment I got out here today, and then we'll get right into our workout. So let's go ahead and start with a body weight squat, taking it down and up. Right here with this squat, think about keeping your chest up. Weight is in your heels, pushing that floor away as you come up. Warm-up is so important. Get the body ready, but also get your mind ready and help you make that mind-muscle connection. We are all about the legs, the glutes, and the thighs today. And I'm gonna tell you, this workout is not going to disappoint. Heels to bum, let's do 3. Last 2, and 1. So bringing your heel up, hold it for a second, feel that stretch through the front of your leg, and then switch. Structure today, very simple, no repeat style. No repeat does not mean the intensity is gonna be any less intense than if we were repeating exercises. This is gonna be a tough one. We've got 60 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and that's gonna be that for our 30 minutes of training today. Last one on this side, then take it out into a sumo position, legs out, toes out. We're gonna hold it low, opening up through the hips here. You can rock it side to side. You can just keep that bum low. Keep that back straight as well, spine nice and long. And let's walk it up, hands right up above your knees. Now we're gonna drop a shoulder and then other side. Oh my gosh, I love this stretch or this warm up. I always like to do this in a warm up just to start opening up through my hips. I feel it in my core, through my back. I love this one. Couple more, then we just got a lateral squat walk and we will be ready to go. Last 2 and 1. All right, lateral squat walk. So give yourself a little bit of space. We'll take it 2 one way, 2 the other way, down for 2. And then other side. Weight today, aim to lift moderately heavy to heavy. If you've got more moderate weight, aim for just a moderate tempo. If you've got that heavier weight, we're gonna take things a little bit slower. Listen to your body today, see how you're feeling, and adjust accordingly. Because again, 60 seconds of work, all in the lower body. It's gonna be tough. Optional equipment that you can grab is going to be, I've got my exercise bench out here just because I can't get on the ground right now for my glute bridge. So I'll be doing hip thrust, but you can definitely do glute bridge on the ground. I've got my ankle weights for fire hydrant and inner thigh lifts. And then also booty band for some extra, some additional exercises. We'll add that on too. Mods for squats, so if you have your band, that will be helpful because some of those mods are gonna be leg lifts. Good, last one this way. And then we're gonna get into our first exercise. If you do have your band, it's gonna go right above your knees. We're gonna do a banded goblet squat. If not, you're just gonna do that goblet squat. So 1, moderately heavy to heavy weight, and let's do this. Starting out, of course, with good form. So chest is up, shoulders rolled back, keeping those elbows in. Weight stays in the heels. We go in 3, 2, and let's squat it down. 60 seconds on. Keep those knees soft as you come up to keep that contraction through your quads, squeezing through the glutes. Exhale as you press up. Think about pushing that floor away right here. Push that floor away. You feel how those muscles engage just a little bit more when you really start to think about where and how you're working. Halfway. Try to keep moving, even with that heavier weight. It's gonna be a slower down and up, but just keep that squat going. We're gonna try to keep the intensity up for the 60 seconds, then we'll get a nice 30 seconds to rest. Here it is, 3, 2, 1. All right, we need 2 weights this time. Keep that band on if you got it. We've got a squat to lateral lift now. Dumbbells are gonna be up on your shoulders. So 15 seconds with that lateral lift. We're gonna alternate sides, so squat, lateral lift, squat, other side with that lift. Keep your foot flexed. Think about squeezing through the glute as you lift. 5 out, 3, 2, and here we go. Squat it down. As you come up, lift. Back down. Take your time with the lift so you can keep your balance. You can get through that full lift. So this is right here. Slow it down. Squeeze, foot is flexed. Drop that bum. Push that floor away. Tighten up through the glutes. Over halfway. Oh my, 2 exercises in, and we are burning. Keep lifting. You know, friends don't let friends skip leg day. So thanks for making me show up today. Here's 3, 2, and 1. All right, no band. We're done with the band. Unless you, no, not unless you're doing the modification. Not yet. Well, you could use the band because we're gonna do a suitcase squat for modification. You'll see that come up on screen, but first, if you're following the exercise, alternating curtsy lunge. Mod is that suitcase squat. 2 dumbbells. Keep those hips square. Stepping back at that diagonal in 3, 2, and 1. Keep those shoulders relaxed. So where we do have lunges come up today, I'll have different modifications for you to follow. Still trying to work those similar muscle groups that we're working. Exhale as you press up. With that curtsy, don't let your shoulders start to roll forward. Keep that chest up and open. You can even think about sticking that chest out a bit. I like to do that, almost over-exaggerate it. Usually when I try to over-exaggerate it, it falls in line with what it should be. Almost there. Final countdown, 3, 2, 1. We've got an RDL or a Romanian deadlift, 2 dumbbells. Keep it heavy for this one. All right, so for this RDL, let those arms just hang down, but keep that good posture again. Stick that chest out a little bit, bring those shoulder blades together. Weight stays in your heels. We're gonna hinge at the hips, soft knees. Keep your spine straight. And let's do it, 60 on, down. Good, pull and squeeze. Tighten up through the hams and glutes right there. So as you do this Romanian deadlift, remember, it's not the upper body trying to pull the weight up. It's actually tightening through those hamstrings, the back of your leg, and the glutes to squeeze. So think about your hamstring as a rubber band. Right here, they're elongating, and then tighten back up. So you know how a rubber band, you extend it, and then it comes right back in. That's where that power is coming. So think about that. Those are those muscle fibers. Extending, tightening, contracting, getting stronger, pulling you back up. Woo. And I have sweat pouring into my eyeball. So I'm not crying, I'm just sweating a lot. 3, 2, 1. All right, I need to use my towel here. We're going into a rear lunge with forward hinge. That forward hinge works the glutes a little bit more. Mod, if you want, you're gonna do a banded rear leg lift. If you don't have your band, then just focus on that rear leg lift. But if you got the band added on, not for the rear lunge though, one side and then the other. So 60 seconds on the same side. And here we go. Take it back, slight hinge and up. So again, this hinge at the hips there targets the glutes a little bit more. So there's just small adjustments that we can make in certain exercises to target things a little bit differently. But that does not mean, if you're hinging forward, that does not mean you're rounding and closing out the shoulder. So If you have a mirror to peek at, or if you can just really focus here on keeping that chest open, back flat, no rounding in the back, and up, do that. And with that rear leg lift, if you're taking that modification, focus on squeezing the glute. Hold it up for a second, squeeze it, and then down. We're gonna switch sides. After a nice break, here it is, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, shake it out. Yes. Gotta dry off. Remember, anytime you need to grab a drink, dry off, go for it. Don't let me stop you. You can pause it. That's the cool thing about working out at home. You can pause it. You're not in a class where you're like, hold up, I'm like shaking bad over here. It's like, hold on. We're gonna come right back to it. All right, other side, so same thing with that mod, rear leg lift, and let's do it. Back is flat. As you come down, open up that chest. I like to, when I do rear lunges, or when I do lunges in general, I personally like to tap my knee. I'm not completely just dropping down on my knee. I just like to give it a little tap to help keep myself consistent with my range of motion. Because if I can, I'll take the easy road. But every time I tap, I know I'm going down as low as I can for that. But again, if you're, sometimes just our flexibility or our body mechanics don't allow us to go all the way down, which is fine, but try to pick something that you know you're hitting your low point every time. Last 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, sumo deadlift this time. So that is different from a Romanian deadlift. With the deadlift, we're gonna have a hinge in the hips and a bend in the knee as we come up. I like to use 1 dumbbell for this. You can always use 2, but this is one of those where it's a go heavy type to really get the most with the 1 dumbbell. Starting at the bottom, so legs out, toes out, we drop the bum, we hinge at the hips, we pull everything back up. And here we go. Back is flat, so no rounding in the back. So with that Romanian deadlift, you might also call that, or you might hear that called a stiff-legged deadlift. I just prefer Romanian deadlift. And then with the deadlift, the legs are not stiff because we're bending at that knee. Now with the deadlift, really got a lot of power coming through the legs, the glutes, and the core, and even a bit into the upper body. But think mostly about pushing that floor away so you can think about those legs working. So right here, push, push, push to that standing position. When you start getting closer to the top, think about bringing those inner thighs in, working the thighs. Last 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. All right. Now another one for a modification because we are going to do lateral lunges on the same side, but if you are taking the mod, you're gonna do a lateral leg lift. So another one where if you've got your band and you wanna use that, go for that. For this one, I like to keep 2 dumbbells up on my shoulder. You can take it as a goblet and 1 in the center. But lateral lunge, here we go. Oh, the legs are shaky. Dropping it down and push. Chest is up. Think about pushing that floor away as you come back up to make it back to that center. Now, if you are doing that modification with that lateral leg lift, make sure you've got a flexed foot as you lift and squeeze. Working through that outer thigh and glutes. Same with this lateral lunge. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna switch sides. So again, if you've got that modification, foot flex, squeeze through the glutes, lateral lunge on the other side. Final set of any sort of lunge variation. So we are moving right along. All right, 5 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. And push that floor away. Back is flat. You can really think about this one. You've got, as you're coming down and you come back up, use that power. Think power to push yourself back up. Good, don't forget to breathe. Exhale right here with your push. And we're breathing throughout, but the big exhale comes right here with that contraction, with that work. Almost there. Last one. 3, 2, 1. We got it. All right. Now we've got a sumo Romanian deadlift. So remember the sumo deadlift, we talked in detail about the differences. So now this is a sumo Romanian deadlift. 1 or 2 dumbbells, whichever you feel comfortable with. Sumo position. This is where we keep a soft knee, but the hinge comes through the hips. Shoulders rolled down and back. We go in 3. Here's 2 and 1. So weight stays nice and close, soft knees, back flat, pull, squeeze. So think about driving that bum to the wall behind you and up. Still focus on an engaged core. Exhale. Woo. Don't let your shoulders, as you fatigue in this, don't let your shoulders round forward. Keep that chest open again. Think about sticking that chest out. Really keeping that good posture. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. We're gonna keep the sumo position, but this time we're doing a sumo squat. So now the knees get to bend. All right, with that sumo squat, optional, depending on how you feel with your dumbbells, you can use 1 on each side or even 1 in the center. I like to usually use 1 in the center, but today I'm gonna mix it up and do 2 on each side. So even adjusting the way that you're holding your weights in an exercise, as long as form is spot on, that can also be a nice way to vary your training. So let's go 60 seconds here, sumo squat. Down and up. It's always our goal to progressively overload our body, and that can be in several different ways. Like I said, just sometimes even holding the weights in a different way. Whether you do your sumo squat like this or you have 1 in the center, mix that up every once in a while. We can increase the work time like we're doing today, even increasing or decreasing the rest time. Because with this longer rest time, we can aim to lift a little bit heavier. Down and squeeze. Even the order that we put our exercises in. So whenever I plan our workout, I like to build off the last one that we did. And again, just mix things up so that our body is always getting something new, because that's how it grows. Last 3, 2, 1. Amazing. All right, so now this is where, if you do not have a bench, you are gonna do a glute bridge on the ground. Again, I need a little extra elevation for myself, so I'm going to be doing a hip thrust on my bench here. That is the difference between a glute bridge and a hip thrust, by the way, for the names, because it's a very similar move, but just with that elevation for your hip thrust. So let's bring it down. Glute bridge, 60 seconds, or that hip thrust. And here we go. Full range down and squeeze. Now glute bridge, or if you are doing the elevated hip thrust here, or just a hip thrust, keep that back flat, squeeze, drive the hips up, but don't overarch your back as you come up. And back stays flat as you lower and lift. Weight is in the heels. Another thing to keep in mind, knees in line with that big toe. So you don't want your knees falling out or caving in. Keep those lines, the knees in line with those toes. And keep moving through your glute bridge. Hold it at the top. That's our longest hold, is up at the top. Down, right back up. Almost there, and then we'll add the band on if you've got it. Last 3, 2, 1. All right, so this next exercise, half rep glute bridge with abduction. So if you've got that band right above the knees, smaller range of motion, we're gonna keep the contraction in the glutes. This is gonna be a challenging one, burning out the bum. So, bum burner today. But again, it's all about the glutes, legs, and thighs. We burned out the legs, thighs are coming, and here we go. So half rep down, up, hit the top, press out. Back down, half rep, not all the way down. Don't let that bum touch the ground. Press. Down just a bit, squeeze up, top of your range, press out. Weight stays in the heels. And breathing. Exhale as you come up. So you can see throughout this workout, we have really targeted everything so far. We've targeted the legs, the glutes, and the thighs, but there are certain exercises that we're really focusing on either the thighs, the glutes, or the legs. So that's why at this point, everything is burning, everything is shaking, but this is the last one here. Good, all right. We are gonna stay in glute bridge. Again, really burning out the glutes here. A little bit of work in the thighs as well because we're gonna do a sumo glute bridge or a sumo hip thrust, so no band. But we're gonna add, if you wanna add weight, you can. Sumo position again, legs out. With that sumo position, again, it works the muscles just a little bit differently. 60 seconds on, here we go. Now with the wider position, toes angled out just slightly, knees still gonna be in line with the big toes. So you don't want them falling in or out. Drive and squeeze up. Remember, keep moving through the rep all the way down, all the way up. Hold it at the top. This is your longest hold. And down, down, up, squeeze, hold it. Control it down. So make sure to get that little squeeze through the glutes. Over halfway. Last time for a glute bridge move. Last 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna bring it up now. No, we're not. We're gonna bring it down. We have got inner thigh circles. So this is where if you have your ankle weights, we're gonna put those on. So you won't need any weight for this one, except if you wanna use your ankle weights. So this is gonna be a body weight move. Top leg comes up, up, we're gonna keep it up and we're gonna circle it. So just circling here. Keeping that up off of the ground. Really think about lifting up and over. As we lift up, we're starting to contract that inner thigh, but we're keeping it lifted. So just that slight contraction stays in it the whole time, working those muscle fibers the entire 60 seconds. So this is really good to help work through the inner thighs, building up that strength and endurance. With the 60 seconds, we were working a little bit more of endurance, even though we were working heavy with that 30 seconds. That helped us out a lot. Oh, almost there. It's burning. Holy max ahoy. Okay. Oh, here's 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry you guys have to listen to me whining. Hope I'm not the only one, because that was burning. All right, we're gonna switch it over to the other side. We cannot leave the other side out. That's as much as that burned. Here we go. 15 seconds. So it's gonna be all about the bottom leg. Going here in 5, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up. Now circle it back. If you are on the fence about the ankle weights, I want to say, jump on in. Jump over the fence and get it. These are like my favorite little tool, because not only do I add them for quite a few times, especially when we're working these muscles in the thighs and the glutes for different exercises, because I'm going to leave these on for the next exercise, but if you want to put your booty band on, you can. Anywho, back to these. If you, they don't take up much space, and especially if you are working upper body, I love to add these on during upper body, because there's some exercises that I could go a little bit heavier, but I can't quite make it up to my next weight. So not only do these help during lower body, also during upper body. Fairly inexpensive, and they don't take up much space. They're perfect, really. Last 3, 2, and 1. I'm glad we could talk about that, because that helped take my mind off the burn on that one. Still shaking, but we have made it. Whew. To our last 2 exercises. We have got fire hydrants. So if you want to use your band, you'll put that right above your knees. I'm gonna keep my ankle weights on and just do ankle weights. You can do ankle weights and bands if you want, whatever you want to do. But we're gonna finish here with that outer thigh. You can do this down on your forearms, or you can do it up, whatever you're comfortable with. And let's begin. Lift and lower. Exhale with your lift. Make sure as you're lifting, you're not opening things up. Keep the hips square, shoulders square. Leg at 90. Hold it at the top for just a second. Control it back down. Don't let that leg just fall back down. Almost there. We switch it up. Three, 2, and 1. Woo. All right. One more here. Other side, you can press it back if you need. Ten seconds out. Quick dry off. All right, here it is. 3, 2, and 1. Let's lift. If you haven't noticed, I don't know if you can see, Stella's new lounger, we got a bigger one, so Nacho can fit too. If he wants, since he was always on the ground, I was like, Nacho really needs a chair too. But I am so in love with Stella's fur and the couch color. They could not match any more perfect, I feel. So I was super excited when we got this in. Almost there. Over halfway. Really squeeze and lift. Keep that core tight. One thing to add after this, because legs and abs go together, and I don't want to leave you hanging for abs. Last 3, 2, and 1, but I have got a quick abs to just complete it. You got the abs, you got the legs, the glutes. So go over and check out that finisher for today's workout. I will see you over there. Don't forget, stay committed and you will see a change. I am so glad we could do this together today. Thank you for being here. I love ya.